Hey there, guys and gals. Welcome back to Back Pocket Game Reviews, and today we're going to talk about some, GameStop information, and unfortunately I kind of missed the last bit of this because this is kind of a two-part little piece, and, few weeks ago, they laid off a whole bunch of their staff. I mean, a whole bunch of their staff. We were talking about regional leaders, district managers, all kinds of different stuff from corporate down, including even HR personnel, which is really all not that shocking. If you look at GameStop stock right now, they're in the $3 price range. And while that wouldn't be concerning if they were consistently around that price range, it is concerning when at the start of the year they were around $15 a share. That means that this company is now worth 1/5 of what it was at the beginning of the year. That's absolutely insane. This company's value has literally just deteriorated over the course of this year. And it's been an ongoing thing. When I was working there, they were still above $20 a share. So not saying that they lost all their value because they lost me, but maybe they did. Probably not. So part of the reason why, as I've told you all before, that I left GameStop was, the writing's on the wall. It's kind of like working for Blockbuster. You are selling physical game media in an age that's starting to transition towards digital, where that physical media isn't really the big seller anymore. That physical media is slowly becoming more and more relevant when you have stuff like Game Pass with Xbox coming. That's become a huge thing. And you've got digital games just being able to be purchased right there on your console. You don't have to get up and go stand in a horde of people at midnight to get your game. It's already preloaded and ready to go. And don't get me wrong, I get it, there's still people that still prefer their physical discs, but unfortunately when you lose over half of your customer base because everyone else is starting to transition to this digital age, you start to, lose complete relevancy in your actual space in the market, which becomes tough as a company. And I've worked retail for a very long period of time, so I understand it. When you start making layoffs, it's usually to control what is your payroll, which is a tangible expense. It's something that is considered controllable by most retail companies. Now, GameStop's not just retail. They do have a lot of different facets of their business, especially when you look at, Game Informer. And, GameStop laid off 100 people just yesterday, and of that, half of Game Informer's staff is now gone. Yeah, half. That's a bit crazy, isn't it? But when you think about it, Game Informer is also one of the still few physical magazines left on the shelf for video gamers. I know I'm wrong. I get it. We live in an age where you can go to the internet and you can, again, get your, news and information on the video game industry. But it is sad to see Game Informer go because, they're one of the last pieces that really wasn't super biased, so to speak. So when I go over to Kotaku, I expect a lot of opinion pieces. That's what happens at Kotaku. No offense to Kotaku, but there's a lot of, here's my views, here's how this feels. Whereas Game Informer is more, here's the facts. And that is the one thing I will be sad to see Game Informer go. And don't get me wrong, it's not announced that they're leaving just yet, but when you lay off half the staff, I'm going to go ahead and figure that that's not a part of your future plan. And don't get me wrong, I understand they got a new CEO. He wants to take them in a different direction. They've got all these different things. We already talked about how they're going to be changing the rewards card. They have a new rewards card thing that they want to trial run and see how it works, where you don't get use discounts anymore because obviously use is where their money's at and they don't want to discount that to you anymore. But it is really sad to see this magazine go away because it's been around for so long, and again, it's one of the last surviving ones. But I'm also not shocked because, Nintendo Power, which was still one of the larger video game magazines, is already gone. Yeah, that left. That one was actually pretty heartbreaking to see because Nintendo Power has been a thing since I was a kid. That one's probably been the longest running one that I currently remember, or that I can remember. And, it's already bye-bye. Toast. Peace. And we all know how Nintendo fans are. They're some of the most loyal. So we can go ahead and assume that it had still a pretty large fan base and a pretty large subscriber base. But it is what it is, and I get it. We're transitioning. Eventually, Game Informer will be all digital and just on the website, and yada, yada, yada. And it doesn't shock me, because they used to, if you hit decent goals, they used to give us store associates or managers a free power-up rewards card. And we weren't allowed to pick the physical version of the magazine. We had to take the digital version. Yeah. And I have a lot of Game Informers. Actually, I think I might have just thrown out a good chunk of them. I only kept the ones with the covers that I still remember dearly or that were somehow important to me. But I did slim that down recently. I probably should have held on to those. They're probably going to be worth something here eventually. But you can tell it's just not a priority to them anymore. That's not, hey, this is a bonus for the rewards card. People aren't going out and buying Game Informers on their own. That's no longer the world we live in. Buying a tangible magazine just doesn't matter. And a good point of that would be my kids do magazine subscriptions with their school. Because, this only people that do selling magazine subscriptions are drug addicts, recovering drug addicts, and, well, kids. Weird that those two have like a common ground there, but is what it is. My kids sold one, and they got, their grandparents did one where it was, you get highlights for the year. Did you know highlights expects you to send the used magazines back? I didn't. They want me to pay them $30 because I didn't send them back. Highlights, this is why you're dying. Right here. This right here is why you're dying. Apparently they recycle them or something. I don't know. Didn't ask. I'm just assuming that recycling is the reason why. But cutting down expenditures and trimming loose weight, and for being fair, they don't make money from Game Informer. Well, they probably do make at least advertising dollars, but obviously it's not enough to clear the overhead of Game Informer staff, or this wouldn't really be a concern. And a lot of people are speculating that store closures are coming next. Honestly, I don't foresee a lot of store closures coming, because the last time they did store foreclosures, every store that wasn't profitable, like didn't make the money, is gone. So the stores that lost money, gone. Last year, they didn't lose money because of the stores. They lost money because they got into the mobile, like, cell phone space. They're one of those third-party retailers for wireless phones. The ones no one likes. It's okay with T-Mobile, because T-Mobile has a lot of control over those stores. But when you go to most third-party wireless retailers, like for Verizon, they're very sketchy. It's like being in a Radio Shack, but shadier. Much shadier. So, I get it. Sometimes you got to trim some fat. I understand when you cut all of those regional leaders and you start cutting district managers. I understand. Your district managers only typically have about 10 to 15 stores right now, which is relatively light in the retail space. That was pretty small. So that cut really did make sense to me, and I understand they gave big payouts to a lot of the store managers, so a lot of store managers got raises and stuff like that. But that's got to come from somewhere, and obviously GameStop didn't make any money last year, so where's it coming from? That's right, from cutting other jobs that they view as not necessary. And I guarantee you that they probably saved more money with the cuts than what they trickled down, which is fine. That's, again, the point of a business is to make money. But you're kind of in the end game right now. You are watching the full meltdown of a company that's trying to figure out, how do we stay profitable? And there's a lot of speculation, too, from other YouTubers that this might be in a attempt to essentially make themselves look more sexy for a buyout. They're trying to get themselves all dolled up. They want to look all purty. They want you to take them out for a nice date. But unfortunately, the last time they did try to get bought out was last year. It was, well, the denial was at the beginning of this year. And they felt that they were worth more than what the companies were willing to pay them. And to be fair, they probably should have just taken the damn offer at this point, because, well, it's not looking good for them at the moment. And I understand that the new CEO wants to make this a cultural epicenter, or whatever the hell wording he tried to use. I don't remember what it was, but I don't see it as being possible at this point. your stock is lower than it was the day you became a publicly traded company. Right now, they're valued lower than they have ever been on stock. You remember that time where I made a video when they dropped to around $9, and I told everyone, I was like, look, if you have stock in GameStop, I would probably get rid of it. Well, about 3 months later is when they dropped even further. So I'm not saying that I knew ahead of time, because I really didn't. But usually a company that has no way out of that hole, you can kind of sense by the actions they start to take. And a lot of those actions were already on the wall for, hey, we are now grasping at straws. And it's sad, because again, this is like your last major, we exclusively sell games, we know about games. I mean, you can't walk into a Walmart and ask the dude who works at Walmart about games. It's not going to happen. I understand some of you might be like, well, why would you say that? The last time I walked into Walmart's tech section and asked if they had Kindle accessories, my wife's grandmother likes the Kindle. I get it. As an adult male who knows tech, I wouldn't buy a Kindle. But for kids, young adults, people that just want to use it for reading, yeah, it has its market. When their head tech guy looks at you and goes, what is a Kindle? Has no idea. I watched a guy the other day in a Walmart trying to sell a computer who couldn't explain the difference between an i3 and an i7. I mean, you could have left it simply at Turbo Boost. I would have even accepted that answer. But I watched it with the biggest cringe on my face. Why would you buy a laptop at Walmart if you don't know the tech already? Don't go there expecting help. My wife complained the other day when she went in to get our kid's birthday cake at Walmart because they're cheaper. And she was like, there was no one in the bakery that knew how to take an order. So she went up to the service desk. Service desk person said even she could have taken the order, sent someone else over. The other person struggled to do it. And I was like, you don't go to Walmart and expect service. It's not what you expect. You go to a specialty retailer if you want service. If you need help or if you need guided in the product, you go to a specialty retailer. You simply go to Walmart because it is cheaper. Not because you're going to have a better experience, not because you're going to have fresher products, because it's cheaper. That is the sole reason why Walmart exists. That is the sole reason why people keep shopping there. GameStop, at least, they're not cheaper. They're probably the most expensive, especially since they don't offer price matching. But you at least had associates usually that knew about the games, at least a good chunk of the games. I mean, you're not going to go in and be like, hey, how about Babysitting Mama? I don't play Babysitting Mama. Stop asking me about Babysitting Mama, all right? But, again, writing's on the wall, unfortunately. We're kind of seeing the end of times for GameStop. I am curious to what you guys think, though. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you going to be sad to see Game Informer go, or do you really feel Game Informer is just not that necessary at this point? Curious to where your opinions lie. Also, if you want to follow me anywhere else, links are as always in the description box down below. And don't forget to drop a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed this. And also, don't forget to be a real man and subscribe and ding that bell. Win your woman a prize. The prize of you watching BPGR and becoming a smarter individual on GameStop practices. I'll see y'all soon. I'll have plenty more content coming for you.